Good evening, everybody. Welcome to the PANSIGHT webinar. Let us start the slideshow. So I understand the slide is visible and I am audible. Topic, word power. Don't preach what you don't or can't practice. That is hypocrisy and fraud. Do you agree? If you agree, in the chat box, please put the alphabet A. If you disagree, put D. So you have got the full freedom. Agree. Binduji, agree. Okay. Thank you. Agree. The reason I showed that one is I don't preach if I cannot practice something. I preach only what I practice. If something I am able to do it, then only I will advise others to try, do it. Otherwise, that is fraud. That is hypocrisy. Purpose of today's talk: know the power of words. Know how to expand your vocabulary. Know how to choose right words. Know how to use words effectively. The definition of vocabulary is the words that are known to you in a particular language. Whether you know 100 words, 1,000 words, 5,000 words, if you know more words, then your vocabulary is strong or vast. When your vocabulary is strong and vast, then you won't have any difficulty in finding the right word. Now, I'm sure that is most of you know, in Kerala, in the past, they used to say, Vallatta Veshappu. That is, I'm feeling very hungry. Ayalu verum pavam. He is very innocent. Eniki kadutha premam, strong love. But now the vocabulary is so poor, they use the word bhayankara. Ayalu bhayankara pavanu ketto. Eniki bhayankara veshappu. Eniki bhayankara sneham. Am I right? If I am right, put R in the chat box. How can it be a person be bhayankara pavam? The meaning of the word bhayankara doesn't fit in that one. Yes, thank you. So many of you agree. So that is one piece of evidence to show that vocabulary is shrinking. As usual, my webinars are always based on FEQT, facts, experience, from my own personal experience. That'll be very interesting also and amusing. Quotations and my own thoughts. When I did the Google search, there are numerous books on just the power of words itself. There are 3 titles. Use power words. My question, very aware of the fact that there are numerous books on power of words. If you are not aware, put N in the chat box. If you are not aware before, in the chat box put N. N, thank you. N. Okay, Lakshmana Raji, N. don't feel bad. First and foremost thing, the very fact that you are here itself shows that you are a person who is ready and willing to learn something new. And a couple of people, they have said that, yes, they were aware of books. So what I find is usually nearly 80 to 90% of the people, they are not aware. It's not 100%, but 80 to 90%, that's a significant number. Thoughts, ideas, and opinions are communicated using words, pictures, or actions. Unfortunately, I use the word unfortunately, very few people know how to communicate effectively and efficiently. So that is my own thought. I would like to know whether that opinion, it is my opinion, whether that opinion you think is correct or incorrect. If you think that is correct, put C in the chat box. C, correct, correct. Thank you, Musamaliji, correct. Because it is an illusion, assumption that a person with the MA postgrad qualification in English literature and a PhD, again, in that language, knows how to communicate effectively, efficiently using that language. Because we know what happened in the near past. A minister, higher education minister with the postgrad qualification in English literature, PhD, professor, we know the kind of words that person used to express her thoughts. Am I right? If I am right, put R. Because those are from Kerala, I think that they know. Yes, Musabiliji, no, R. R. So that is what it is. Mere qualifications are not enough. Now take the case of the former minister, the Achyutanandan, chief minister. His formal education, 7th grade. He didn't go to any college, high school dropout. But he knows how to communicate effectively in Malayalam and persuade the millions of voters and win the elections and come to power. Formal education, 7th grade. Power of his words. The same way, Mata Amrutananda Mai. Formal education, 4th grade. And she knows how to communicate effectively in Malayalam and grab and attention of millions of people. So formal education actually is not empowering. Do you agree? If you agree, put A. Because I am asking, because I want to make sure this is a communication. Yes, yes, Roy Cherianji, Pradapji, yes. And then I'm going to share my own story in this context. Told you, I'll share my own personal experience. My father, his formal education, 4th grade. My mother, 5th grade. Both of them migrated from Tamil Nadu. And I went to the Malayalam medium school. And my neighborhood, we were not very rich. I was not born with a silver spoon. And we lived in a neighborhood where socio-economically poor people from Tamil Nadu. And my friends or the peers, playmates, most of them were school dropouts. First time I went to a library in Trivandrum, in spite of the fact I was living in Trivandrum. First time when I was SSLC, doing SSLC. And we never used to even subscribe to newspaper. We started subscribing to Malayalam newspaper after I went to the college. And obviously my English language, that vocabulary was poor. The first time I bought a dictionary was when I went to the college. And when I was in the school, in the 8th grade, that time after the Onam, around Onam time, heavy rains, and there was flooding. Near the school, there's a low-lying area where it is something like a slum. So those people were moved to the school for rehabilitation, temporarily for 3 or 4 days. The Onam examination, the English examination, paper question, one short note question. It was FLOOD. Question was FLOOD. I didn't know what it meant, what the word was. I couldn't even pronounce that one correctly. So I asked the invigilator, sir, is fluid? Because I know food. So FOOD. So I assumed this is also should be pronounced that way. I asked him, sir, what is this fluid? He was a Malayalam language teacher. No, don't ask. Then subsequently I realized that he also didn't know what that word was. So, fluid. Then another classmate, he told me, hey, that's food on a day. Food. Our spelling തെറ്റിച്ചെഴുതിയാണ്. He told me that the question is about food. And by mistake, they have put an L also. So I wrote my answer about food. What happened? I got a big 0. Why am I sharing this story? Just to make you realize how that is my vocabulary. Awful. Just awful. And during the medical education, medical school also, I never used to speak because you have to speak in English. So in the class, I never used to ask any questions. Because if you want to ask questions, you have to ask the questions in English. I was not confident and comfortable. During PG days, MD also, no. I was very good at memorizing. And I used to just repeat what I have read in the newspaper, the books, everything. If that person could now speak in English fluently, did it happen because of some miracle? Did it happen because I went to temple and prayed and cracked some 100 coconuts? No. I realized that was when I was around 28 years old. That is when I realized the root cause. Why? Why am I not able to speak fluently in English? Why am I afraid of speaking in English? That self-evaluation examination, I realized, okay, my vocabulary is not strong. Then I put a conscious effort. I subscribed to Hindu newspaper. Every day in the evening, I used to read the editorial page. Editorial. Why editorial? Editorial, every day it will be a different topic. Today it may be about terrorism, tomorrow about inflation, the other possibly climate change, and you will come across some new words. And without, what you call, any laziness, I used to consult the dictionary, find out the meaning. And I used to use that word very next day in the conversation. So that is how I gradually expanded my vocabulary. So that is the secret behind my ability to communicate well in English. Is this story interesting and convincing? If interesting and convincing, put Y in the chat box. Yes, Musamaluji. Okay, so I'm not ashamed. I'm not ashamed to admit the fact that I couldn't speak English well before. That's a fact. And the purpose of sharing these two stories to motivate people who watch my video subsequently. Yes, if this guy can speak English fluently and succeed in going to England and America, because in England and America, I won't be able to speak in Malayalam. I have to speak in English. The patients are not going to speak in Malayalam. So that one, how? If you put the effort, that also not a lot of effort. You don't have to carry any heavy weight or anything. Every day I ended up learning some 5 to 10 new words. And within 6 months, yes, I was able to do that. The very same thing I did. My son in USA, when he was around 10 years old, every day I used to give him homework. The homework was 5 new words. And I would ask him to check the dictionary, write down the definition, and create a sentence using that new word. So in a week, 5 days a week, I used to give 5 words. That means 25 words. In a month, nearly 100 words. In a year, he learned more than 1,000 words. 12 months. And when his vocabulary expanded, he started writing poems. Because all his thoughts and ideas, he was able to find the words. He was able to express, and his poems were published in the school magazine. And he subsequently participated in debate also. If you want to participate in a debate, you should have that language skill. And he can speak English fluently. So my dear friends, your grandchildren, I'm sure some of you must be having grandchildren at least, who are in the school going age, teenagers of them. Make them watch this video if you really want to help them succeed in their life. If you really want to, because I have shared the practical experience. This is doable. Do you agree? What I am suggesting is something impossible. You know that it's not impossible. It's possible, and that too, not you don't have to work very hard. Payyattinnal panayintinna. So 5 to 10 new words every day. Even at this age also, every day I end up learning 5 to 10 words. With online newspaper, when I read, when I come across a new word which I don't know the meaning, I immediately right click and Google search the word. I check the pronunciation and meaning. No matter what anybody tells you, words and ideas can change the world. Robin Williams, the guy who acted in Mrs. Doubtfire, comedian, 100% true. Great speakers in history, Martin Luther King Jr. I have a dream, his speech, they teach in the schools. It's part of the curriculum. Martin Luther King Jr.'s I have a dream speech. Abraham Lincoln, his Gettysburg Address, from 272 words only. That also they teach here. Winston Churchill, great orator, World War II, how he was able to motivate the British army. Because Hitler was a very powerful antagonist. And he motivated the people. One of his famous speeches, we will fight in the air, we will fight in the sea, we will fight in the land, we will this one, but we will never surrender. That one. If you haven't read that speech, please read that one. A great speaker. Mark Antony, Julius Caesar, Mark Antony speech when I was in a pre-degree student. That's when I learned that one. So powerful. If you haven't read that one, please. Because he went to address an angry mob. They hated Caesar. Caesar is already dead. And they were all loving and praising Brutus, the guy who stabbed Caesar from behind. This guy starts his speech saying that Brutus is an honorable man. Brutus is an honorable man. So the mob also, they liked it. Gradually, he was able to succeed in making the mob turn against Brutus. He was able to persuade the angry mob, and they went after Brutus. I don't know how many of you have read this Mark Antony speech. If you have read, please put in the chat box why. I would like to know how many of you have read that Mark Antony speech. I'm sure Roy G must have read that on Roy MC. Because Roy MC and myself, we are contemporaries. Our age, we went to the college around the same time. So if you haven't read that one, please read that one. Amazing. Power of words. And Adolf Hitler. No college degree, no PhD. You know how Hitler came to power, and Hitler was able to make the entire world shake, tremble. And he was able to brainwash, manipulate the minds of the people and make them hate Jewish people and kill 6 million innocent people. What he did is not right. That's not what the point is ability to use words. That's the point. Vocabulary enables us to interpret and to express. If you have a limited vocabulary, you will also have a limited vision and a limited future. That's what I was suffering from. With the limited vocabulary, limited vision, everything limited. Is this clear? If it is clear, put C. Put C. Because at the end of this session, I want to make sure that you are thoroughly motivated and you will motivate your children and grandchildren. Yes, in the 21st century, the success, growth, progress depends on one's ability to use language. Not mere technical knowledge is not enough. Look at Barbara's own word, the Obama's own words. I think at a certain age, I became conscious of the power of words. And it was fairly late. I was kind of a goofball, but I was always subconsciously thinking about issues. And look at that, and during the election, how did he win? He used 3 words, powerful. 1, hope, then change, 3rd, progress. Because I used to watch his speeches. Nobody thought that he would win because he's an African American black guy. Already there's that racial, that bias is there. Nobody thought. And he was not a vice president or anybody. He was a first-time senator. He was young. And he was fighting against a seasoned politician. Amazing. His vocabulary. The 2 politicians whose vocabulary impressed me a lot. 1, Bill Clinton. 2, Obama. He has authored a few books also. Autobiography. So from Obama also we must understand that vocabulary. We have to work on expanding our vocabulary. What we say matters and how we say matters more. Now this one will be very interesting. Very interesting. I'm going to suppose NV Devan. NV Devan is working under me. I'm a manager. And he is my subordinate. And he has come to my office to discuss something and he is about to leave the office. I'm going to give him an instruction. Just listen to me, NV Devanji and others also. You don't have to say anything, NV Devanji. You don't have to say anything. Just listen to what I'm going to say. The very same instruction in 3 different ways. You can mute. You can keep muted. You don't have to unmute. Keep muted. Okay. I'm going to use the instruction in 3 different ways. Close that door. Please close that door. Could you please close that door? Close that door. Please close that door. Could you please close that door? I'm going to show it how I'm going to say. Close that door. Please close that door. Could you please close that door? Is there a difference? If there is a difference, which one makes you feel good? Number 1, 2, or 3. Participants, others also put 1, 2, or 3. Devendra Naji, 3. Pradeep Kumar, 3. That is exactly. These many people, they don't realize. Some people when they please close that door. The word there is please, but your body language gesture is pointing finger. Please, please close the door. Your expression, they don't match that please. When your body language doesn't match the words, people will believe your body language. That it no longer is a request, it will be seen as an order. Please close that door. It's an order. That's could you please? Will you lose anything? Will the manager lose? Will I lose anything as a manager if I use the word could you please close the door? Nothing. I won't lose anything. And NV Devanji will feel good also. Is this simple example crystal clear about the way we communicate? If it is crystal clear, put CC. Is it crystal clear? CC. Okay, Shanmugha Rajeshwari ji. CC, Pradap ji. Okay. Zamali ji. Here also I'm going to share an interesting story. I learned some things the hard way. Because in Kerala, I'm from Kerala. Kerala, generally, people, they are not very, very nice or polite. I used to work in the Trivandrum Medical College as a faculty. And I used to simply follow what my teachers, how you emulate what your teachers are your role models. So we used to ask the nurse, if you want, say, for example, injection on, say, Lasix, the medicine. We'll say, sister, 40 milligram Lasix. 40 milligram Lasix. You bring 40 milligram Lasix. It's an order. Because she's a nurse. I'm a doctor. And I went to UK, United Kingdom. That was in 1992. On the second day, I was on duty, night duty. So I was paged. The nurse paged me. I went to to see the patient. Patient was having heart failure. And he was having breathing difficulty. So I immediately, the nurse was standing there. I told her, get me 40 milligrams of IV Lasix. And then I started looking at the patient because I have given the instruction. I looked at the patient and I saw the nurse didn't move. She was standing there. So I repeated. and I raised my voice. Sister, get me 40 millions of Lasix. Then with a gentle smile, she told me, say please. Say please. It was night. It was around midnight. I felt really angry. Who is she? She's a nurse. And she is asking me, teaching me, asking me to say please. And I thought this is discrimination. Maybe because my color is dark, I'm from India. She is humiliating me. But night. Anyway, I said, please. I added the please. Okay, then she went and brought one ampule, a syringe loaded with the Lasix, and she handed it over to me. Then I started giving that one. I didn't like that day. I rarely use the word hate. I hated that nurse. Okay, so I didn't want to see her again at all. So I was giving the Lasix slowly. In UK, the nurses don't do anything. Everything the doctor has to do, even starting the IV drip, injection, and everything. The nurses, they dress very well. They come, go, they won't do any work. Okay, so I was giving the IV Lasix slowly, very slowly, so that I wanted her to leave. And in the corner of my eye, I could see she was still standing there. Okay, even after giving very slowly, it is over. Then I again talk to the patient. How are you feeling? You'll get better. You will feel better within some 10 minutes. It may take another 10 to 15 minutes for it to work. After talking to him for a couple of minutes, still the nurse was standing there. Then I wanted to leave. So when I turned around, she looked into my eyes and she, with again the same smile, she said, say thank you. I said, thank you. I was ready to explode. I said, thank you. And I left. The whole night I could not sleep. To be frank, I could not sleep. What? A nurse saying that, say please, say thank you. What is this? All those things. The next day morning, when I went for the rounds, the consultant there, consultant means he was 10 years older than me. He is a British guy, white guy. And at that time, the consultant wanted the chart, patient's chart. And he asked the nurse, could you please get me the chart of this patient? Then I noticed, what did he say? Could you please get the chart of this patient? And when she brought the chart, and he said, thank you. So then I realized it was not discrimination. It was not my skin color, nothing. Because I was a barbarian. I was so rough. I was uncivilized. I was uncultured. But overnight, did the behavior change? No, it is a habit. So subsequently, also some days when I ask the nurse, I want the blood pressure machine. Then I remember, I have forgotten to say please. Then he'll say please. I add the please. And when they bring the blood pressure machine, again I forget to say thank you. So after this one, thank you. Okay, like that. Now I use the words please, thank you. And after coming to India, on some few occasions when I hired an auto rickshaw and to the railway station, after getting off the auto rickshaw, and I gave him that 10 rupees or 15 rupees, I said, thank you. He looked at me, okay, thanks. Okay, when I said that, thanks. He was pleasantly surprised. What did he do? Sometimes they immediately take that briefcase or suitcase. I will carry it for you. Just using that polite word or acknowledging that thanks. Is this story, real life story, is it something enlightening? If it is enlightening, say yes. Enlightening. Yes. These are all authentic, real stories. And I learned a lot from the school of life, from my own personal experience. My success, the secret behind my success is because I empowered myself with the communication skills. Nice words are free. Use as many as you would like. Words are, of course, the most powerful drug used by mankind. Rudyard Kipling, the author of Jungle Book. When a patient comes to a doctor or when a client goes to a lawyer, they expect one thing, not just medicines. Hope. The doctor should give them hope by using the right words and with right body language. Pedikanda. Pedikanda. That itself is enough for many patients to feel better. Placebo effect. എല്ലാം ശരിയാവും. 5 ദിവസം പേടിക്കേണ്ട ഒരു 5 ദിവസം കഴിഞ്ഞാൽ എല്ലാം ശരിയാവും. But there are many doctors. ഇത് കഴിക്കും കേട്ടോ. You take this medicine and come back after 5 days. Did that doctor give hope? No. So words are drugs. Convinced? Rudyard Kipling's that quote, if you are convinced, put C. Our words of power, they impact others, but they also impact us. We, every day, most of the time, we talk to ourselves. This self-talk, what kind of words we use? If I say I'm stupid, that's not good. I start believing that I'm stupid. Okay? I cannot do. Then I start believing that I cannot do. So, negative self-talk will have a big negative impact on our own lives. Handle them carefully, for words have more power than atom bombs. I don't know how many of you have watched this one, Mahabharata, the TV serial. That is Draupadi, that is Duryodhana. Andeka Putra Anda. When they had built a new palace, when Duryodhana went to see that palace, at one point there was a small pond full of water. He thought that is something like a crystal, marble, something like that. And he stepped into that one and he fell down. Then Draupadi laughed at him. Andeka Beta, his father, blind, Andeka Beta Anda. That is so humiliating. It's like an atom bomb. And that is one of the reasons why she was disrobed, her sari and everything. You get it? Is it interesting? If it is interesting, put I and convincing. She didn't realize her words would harm her, hurt her. Okay? I learned that there is more power in a good, strong hug than in 1,000 meaningful words. Amritananda Mai, she's called the hugging saint. In USA, whenever she comes, the local newspaper says the hugging saint is in the city. Hugging saint has her brand also. Hugging, power of hugging. It helps in releasing the happiness hormones like oxytocin releases. Do you know anybody else who practices that hugging? Put in the chat box the name of anybody else you know who practices hugging, who gives hugging lavishly. Do you know anybody? You don't. Now I'm going to show this slide. Then you know. Oh. Yeah. It didn't come to my mind. Prime Minister Modi hugging 10 different personalities, including the American president, Obama, Trump, the Facebook guy, Mark Zuckerberg, Putin, some Saudi, or are you convinced the secret behind Modi's success? He is a hugger. He is a hugger. Did Manmohan Singh hug anybody? Right? So Modi has learned from Amarandamai, I think. Okay, the secret and power of hugging. There is a greater impediment to the advancement of knowledge than the ambiguity of words. Ambiguity means if a word has got two different meanings, then obviously that will create confusion, misunderstanding. I'm going to show you a couple of examples. Ambiguous words. Theater. Again, real life story. When I was a tutor in the Department of Medicine in Medical College, that was 1981, 81, up around that period. And every week we had to take duty, casualty duty. The casualty duty, there will be an orthopedic surgeon and a physician and a general surgeon. And when a patient who had a traffic accident with some fracture, like when he was brought to the casualty, I was the only guy who was sitting there. The orthopedic physician was not there, surgeon. So I was the peon, I called the attendant. Orthopedics surgeon, go and bring that surgeon. So the patient, bystanders, they were all standing. And within a couple of minutes, he came back and he told me, "Sir, doctor, theater." He said that he is in theater. Immediate reaction from the patient bystander. Duty samayatake ivanake cinema കാണാൻ പോയിരിക്കുകയാണ്. Okay, here is a duty, and during that time, he has got to watch a movie. Because for them, theater means movie house. Here, what he meant was operation theater. The doctor was in the operation theater, but they perceived that he had gone to watch a movie. Got it? Ambiguity. And then I had to explain. Theater എന്ന് പറഞ്ഞത് സിനിമ കാണാനല്ല പോയത്. He has gone to the operation theater. Okay. But if a word is ambiguous, it will be misinterpreted. Salsa. This is also my own personal experience. Do you know what salsa is? In the chat box, if you know, type in. What is salsa? No. Okay, Srimar Nairji, no. Anybody who knows it? Okay. Bindu, dance. Food. Musambilu, no. Dance. Okay, I'm surprised. At least a couple of people you know that is a dance. I didn't know that. Because salsa is a sauce, a spicy tomato sauce available in all the grocery stores. Okay. So when I was interacting with another guy, white guy, he told me, I'm interested in salsa a lot. I love salsa. He said, I love salsa. Then I told him, no, it is very spicy. So I don't eat it. I don't eat salsa that much. And he said, what? You mean spicy? Is it not that sauce? No. It is about a Latin dance. So there again, ambiguity. Okay. So if a word is ambiguous, you may misinterpret. The oldest, shortest words, yes and no, are those which require most thought. This one I can explain during the discussion. Because I have to complete the presentation. Then after 9 o'clock, we will continue with the discussion. At that time, I will give you some real life examples of if you don't use the word correctly, yes and no, yes, that will cost you. If you tell somebody enough, you are stupid, you are not worth it, you can't do this, you can't do that, then how many times do you have to hear that before you believe it? The power of words is immeasurable. That's exactly what is happening now. Many grandparents, parents, when they scold their children, stupid, stupid. You cannot. They soon start believing that they are stupid. Is this something what I am saying is true? If it is true, put T in the chat box. Have you heard some parents criticizing, using the, true, harsh words, but they are not realizing the damage it does. They are not realizing the damage. The child is very vulnerable, impressionable, and they start believing. Then, for the rest of their lives, that is programmed. People may hear your words, but they feel your attitude. That also during the discussion. If you ask me, I will explain that one. Conversation would be vastly improved by the constant use of 4 simple words. I don't know. When I don't know, I usually say, I don't know. When I was a tutor in the medical college, I was able to enjoy very good reputation. Because when the students ask some question, medicine is like an ocean. And I don't know certain things. I say, I don't know. I will look up and tell you tomorrow. They liked it. They admire that honesty. But there are some teachers, they don't know. Their ego won't let them admit that they don't know. They will bluff. Then they lose their credibility. Me too was just 2 words. It is 2 magic words that galvanize the world. You all know that one. That Me Too movement. Politically correct words, Negro, mental retardation, handicap, underdeveloped. These are the words. Here they don't use Negro. If I use the word Negro, I'm finished. Mental retardation, intellectual disability. Handicap, differently able. Underdeveloped, developing country. Patient, client. Intellectual is a man who takes more words than necessary to tell more than he knows. You know, Shashi Tharoor is very good at using words which many people won't be able to understand, digest. Do you agree? If you agree, put A. That is a typical sign of intellectual. Purpose is to impress, not to express. Always and never are 2 words. You should always remember never to use. Again, during the discussion, I will explain. Powerful words, catchy slogans, catchy headlines, rhyming songs. Indira Gandhi, 1971. वो कहते हैं इंदिरा हटाओ, मैं कहती हूं गरीबी हटाओ. Landslide victory. That slogan, गरीबी हटाओ. 2014, अब की बार Modi Sarkar. Catchy slogan. Acronyms, you know, AIDS, then acquired immune deficiency syndrome, COVID, coronavirus disease, PAN, permanent account number, IAS syndrome, CMOM syndrome, OMCM syndrome. Do you know those 3? If you don't know, put in the chat box N. IAS syndrome, CMOM syndrome, OMCM syndrome. If you don't know, in the chat box put N. N. Okay. Those 3 syndromes, you won't find it in any books. Coined by me. I gave a talk on IA syndrome. IA syndrome is ignorance, arrogance, stupidity. That also I can explain during the discussion. Then CMOM syndrome, that is closed mind and open mouth. Closed mind, open mouth. OMCM is open mind and closed mouth. Those are all these different syndromes coined by me. Upcoming talks next Thursday, thought power. After that, willpower. That is the Zoom link, ID, same. Thank you for joining the webinar. Now, I welcome your questions and the comments. First questions only. the comments during the discussion. I will stop the recording at 9 o'clock, but we will continue the discussion. So now, any questions? Is everything? Did I keep my promise? I told you this talk will be very interesting, very useful, and your children, grandchildren, they will be immensely benefited if you make them watch this video. Immensely benefited because I have shared my own real life story without mingling or without any polishing something. Okay, did you find it entertaining and enlightening and empowering? In that case, if it is put EEE, triple E, entertaining, enlightening, yes, thank you. Roy Javianji, thank you. And empowering. Okay, any questions? We have 5 more minutes.
എനിക്കൊരു സംശയം ചോദിക്കാനുള്ളതേ, നമുക്ക് ഈ ഹഗ് ചെയ്യുന്ന സമയത്ത് മനസ്സിനും ശരീരത്തിനും ഉണ്ടാകുന്ന ആ പോസിറ്റീവ് എനർജി ലെവൽ എന്തൊക്കെയാണ്? അതെങ്ങനെ ഉണ്ടാവുന്നു? അതിന്റെ സോഴ്സ് ഓഫ് എനർജി, ഹൗ ഇറ്റ് ഈസ് ഹാപ്പനിങ്?
Very good question. First and foremost thing, of the 5 senses, touch is the most powerful. And in USA, now therapeutic touch. Therapeutic touch. They have training programs. The nurses go for that training because a patient, look at that one, a baby, crying baby, the moment the mother takes the baby, that touch and hugging, most of the time, baby stops crying. Do you agree, NVG? Right? That the baby feels secure, comfort. And we are all, even now, we are all babies. We are all adults physically, but that craving for touch is there. Craving for that touch. And that is why I learned that secret also. Because one of my, in UK, I learned the power of touch, that healing therapeutic touch. I was at that time a senior house officer. So Monday through Friday, Monday, myself, my house officer, then the registrar, 3 of us, we go for the rounds, some 10 or 15 patients. Tuesday, myself and the senior house officer. Wednesday, the consultant, he comes once a week only. He comes once a week on Wednesdays only. He also comes for the round. That day, I was able to see a visible change in the whole attitude of the patients. All patients were elderly patients, above the age of, most of them were above the age of 70. They will be eagerly looking for that doctor. And that doctor was a South Indian. His name was Dr. Shastri, because I think that he's no more. Dr. Shastri. So I used to wonder, he comes once a week, and they are all eagerly looking for him. We are seeing the patients every day. I am seeing the patients every day, and they don't even care. They are indifferent. Then I observed what he used to do was, he would come. First, he would have a smile, with a smile. And he used to kneel down. The patient is lying on the bed. There the floor is very clean. You know, in our place, you cannot do that one. He would lean, and he will kneel. And then he used to hold the hand of the patient. It is like a sandwich handshake. The patient's hand will be in between his hands, and he will hold. How are you doing? And he uses the word, how are you doing, dear? How are you doing, honey? How are you doing? And the elderly people, and he used to spend only some 2 or 3 minutes, but the whole time, his hand will be holding the hand of the patient. Power of touch. I copied that one because when I see something that is working, and then I also started doing that after coming to USA. And the patient examining, he is sitting on the couch. Then I will take his right hand, hold it. How are you doing? Any new problems? Everything? I could see that is they were feeling very, very happy. Eh? That is what the touch does. So the hugging means you are going very close, body to body contact, not just a hand to hand. So that look at the way they greet in the Middle East. The Arabs, they greet each other by hugging. You know that? Hugging is the form of greeting. The Arabs' culture. And the pastor, Roy is here. Christians also. Some very successful bishops and pastors, I have seen their body language. They also hold the hand of the person, sandwich handshake. Hindu is the problem. Here the pujari, he won't even touch the temple devotee. He will throw the sandalwood paste like this, no touch. And these guys, just like the cricket, they catch. Okay, they catch that word. Okay, that is it. No touch. So that is one reason there's no connection between, close relationship between the pujari and the devotees, Hindu culture. Is this clear, NVG?
Yes,
Is
yes.
it clear?
Definitely. Thank you. Sir, വളരെ
Okay.
വിശദമായിട്ട് explain ചെയ്തു വളരെ. Excellent.
Now I'm going to stop the recording, but don't go away. During the discussion, you will learn something more. Okay, something more. So I'm going to stop the recording. Please don't forget to share this video with your children and grandchildren. That will be the best gift for them.